Hey, what's up, YouTube? Books Nelson here, back with another video. Today we'll be getting into this upcoming Spark. I think this is the Spark 4 collection. So it's interesting. I wonder why they don't release all of the players, right? Isn't there like one more Opal that they talk about? Anyway, neither here nor there. So we're looking at this collection and seeing if it's good or not. Or what we can be looking forward to. So we have two extremely undersized cards in the game, and the interesting thing about this one is that Isaiah Thomas is one of my least favorite cards in my team history because he highlights what 2K is really bad at in terms of capturing styles. They're good at some characters, like I think Kobe feels really good. I think the Vince Carters of the world have always felt good. LeBron feels great. But these quick dribblers like Kyrie Irving and Isaiah Thomas highlight just how much the devs are struggling with that element of the dribbling system, quick changes of direction, because these cards should not be terrible. I remember it was I think it was 2K22, was it, where the 5'7" point guards were like darting left and right in rec and pro-am and stuff like that. They were really hard to get a hold of. Even though that wasn't the way I would like to see it, that proved that small cards can be good in 2K as long as they're fast enough. So now the onus is on 2K to do that without being cheesy, right? Without having a game that's unplayable. So without being unable to stop them. You want it to be a push and pull, right? A positive and negative. And this is something that I think that this is something the devs are really bad at, and I think they need to focus on that because I think it's crucial for the game mode, and this year for me proves that. Because while we're talking about their shortcomings, I can talk about what they've done well with the dribble styles and the motion styles and the limitations on movement. This year, more so than any other year, height doesn't rule the game. SIGs rules the game. And they are still, even at this point in the year, a place for a 6'6" two guard, if that two guard is good enough. I don't know if in my time in my team, which dates back to about 2K19 or 20, I don't know if I've ever seen the game mode where a 6'6" two guard could justify their time on the court this late into the year to the level that they can now, right? And I think even a 6'5" two guard, if they had like Patty Mills, like if Glenn Rice was exactly as Glenn Rice is, but he was 6'5", he would still play, right? So they've made progress in this, but this is what really sucks about it. Like Muggsy Bogues is never going to be good, right? He's 5'4" or 5'2" or whatever, right? He was 5'2" when I grew up. I don't know if they've readjusted his height, remeasuring or whatever. But Isaiah Thomas should be where like Jerry West is, right? Where it's like Jerry West is not a good card, but he is a usable card if you want to go online and have fun, right? Allen Iverson early in the year is like that. I want to see Isaiah Thomas, the great Isaiah Thomas, elevated to that, and I want Kyrie Irving to have that fun. The devs stink at this, and they need to get a hold of it. All right, moving on. I apologize for that early rant and sermon, but the rest of this collection is pretty shallow, so we don't have a whole lot to talk about anyway. But Isaiah Thomas is not going to be good. I wish that wasn't the case. There's going to be almost nothing redeemable about that card. Same thing for Muggsy Bogues. Bogdan should be solid, but his position is so congested, and who knows what we're going to be getting out of this finals collection, since the finals are probably ending tonight in Boston. Who knows what cards they're going to drop for free. Two guards, it is a very, very tough position to play for Bogdan, but he does have a solid jumper. Karl Anthony Towns, I don't have high hopes for. He's 6'11". It reminds me a lot of the Boogie Dark Matter, right? The Boogie power forward, his time has just passed because what was good about him, they gave it to other cards that had like better size and better animations and stuff. With Cat, his jumper just stinks. It's funny because this is the collection that highlights so much of what's bad about 2K from a design standpoint. Usually on this channel, I'm criticizing the people who call the shots, like the shareholders, the money people, right? The execs and stuff like that. This is a situation where this set is bad, but it's because the devs are bad at this part of it. There is no reason that Karl Anthony Towns, who I still have Dirk Nowitzki as my greatest shooting center, big man of all time. For me, it's Dirk easily. But Cat is in number 2, number 3. I think prime Jokic I would probably also take over Cat, but Cat is in that conversation of top 5 all-time shooting big men, and he's not fun to shoot with. It doesn't feel good to shoot with the card. Even, Ty Debo, may he rest in retirement, the biggest T-Wolves fan in the world won't use a Cat card unless it's like he's literally the best card released at the time, because his shooting just doesn't feel good, just doesn't work. The devs have to find a way to have the visual expression of the cards match with the gameplay expression of the cards. And Karl Anthony Towns is a prime example of a card you can give him everything, but because his shooting is generally bad, it's just not going to work. Now, if they change his release for whatever reason, because I don't expect he'll get 100 overall a GOAT card, you never know. If they change his release, that could possibly redeem him. But, and this leads me to my final conclusion about tomorrow's collection, this looks like a collection where the good news is you don't even have to waste your time. Just go ahead, get Roy Hibbert, who should be pretty good, right? He's going to be nice and tall. He's going to help you deal with Wemby if you didn't pull Wemby. If you didn't get Big Z this week, this will be a free option for those super tall centers to give you a fighting chance. I expect Roy to be excellent defensively. He's been a pretty good card all year. His release should be sped up enough. In fact, while we're here, let's go ahead and look at what base Mr. Hibbert has. Roy Hibbert, one of the mysteries of basketball, because if you watched Roy Hibbert from Georgetown and you watched him on the way up, it was like, oh, this guy could be really good. And then he literally just vanished. I heard there was some personal stuff that went on that we're not going to get into on this here channel. Okay, so he's got Brook Lopez lower, Vince Carter upper. I think that should be okay as it speeds up. Are there any opals with this? Okay, so Antoine Jamison has that Brook Lopez. I think it's Antoine, even though it's spelled like this. The Antoine Jamison. Okay, Pods has Brook Lopez on the bottom. His shot isn't absolutely horrible. So yeah, I think the Lopez lower should be okay. And the Vince Carter upper, not great. None of these cards is a particularly great shooter, but I do think at 7'2", it'll be more than usable on very quick. And we see here some of his animations while we're here. He did have Luka's behind the back and KD's escape moves. So expect some good SIGs on Roy as well, because once this dribble style gets updated, most likely to Michael Jordan, I actually hope they give him Kobe or something else, or even Pro. I would love if they gave him Pro. But once this dribble style gets updated, and this moving crossover gets updated, even with what he has already, he'll be moving all right. And thanks to the tech that we have on this channel with the in and out cross, you don't have to worry about this Larry Bird moving hesitation haunting you anymore. We just use that turbo in and out and we're good to go. So yeah, I expect this Roy Hibbert to be very, very good. Probably the best free center so far. One of the best available, if not the best available center in the game currently. So we'll see how that turns out. But yeah, very excited about Roy Hibbert, and I think he should be pretty good. And that's going to be it for what's coming out tomorrow. I think there might be one more opal. Could be wrong about that, that they're not showing here. So we'll see what that's like, and I'll see you guys in the morning breaking all of that down. But final verdict, as far as I'm concerned, in this preview element of it, this isn't, the actual judgment of these cards. We don't judge them until we see them nice and up close. But Roy Hibbert is the only reason to engage this content at all. And I will say one last thing. It's so troll of 2K to be like, okay, fine, we'll give you a center, but the rest of these cards are going to be terrible. That's what we're going to do, right? That's just kind of all right, man, whatever, guys. When I go back to it once again, man, my point guard, my team, my casino, their team, my point guard, man. If the shoe fits, 2K is definitely wearing it. So I will see you guys on the morrow. Hopefully we get some great finals content tonight. And yeah, I'll see y'all in the next one. Thanks so much for supporting the channel. Please like and subscribe if you have not already. And peace.